Hey guys, Ashley Smith here. So if you guys hear dog barking or a cat in the background, it's real life. I'm sorry. But anyways, that's just how it is right now. The book that I chose to read was All the American Presidents, and it's this version. And the reason why that I don't have the actual copy of the book is because I did Audible. So just with all I have going on right now with school and my son's school and work, I couldn't read it, so I did the Audible. I hope that's okay. The authors are Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein. I believe that it was originally published in 1994. The version that I read was republished in 2014. So, All the President's Men takes you through the Watergate scandal. It starts with them unveiling the possibility that something had gone on at the Democratic convention, that somebody found out some key information that was leaked. So the authors are the main reporters that are featured in the book, and it takes you through their dialogue and their interviews with everyone that was involved. It takes you through interviews with employees, interviews with people that were in politics at the time, and it's just really centered around how hard these reporters from Washington Post were trying to work to uncover what was really going on. The reason why that I chose this book was because I didn't know, and I still have only scratched the surface really on Watergate. Basically the only thing that I knew about it was that it was some big scandal that caused Nixon to get in a lot of trouble and have to resign from the presidency. It was, which he's the only president that's ever been, well, he was pretty much forced out of office. So I was intrigued because of that. I still need to do I feel like I need to do a lot more research on it, and it's definitely piqued my interest on other things because the two authors that wrote this have written other books on different presidents. So I'm interested to see what they have to say about different presidents and the different controversies that has surrounded their time in office, basically. They have actually written one on President Trump, and I believe that Bob Woodward had actually sat down with Trump and had an interview with him. That's something that my husband and I were talking about, and I just did not connect the dots until I had already finished the book. Was that, like I said, they had written these other books about different American presidents. So I'm scratching the surface, and so I'm thankful for that. Like, I didn't realize that, like, how relevant that still is. I know that it was a big deal at the time, and that it really it kind of changed the course of the presidency from there on, to be honest, because I feel like as the American people, we knew that they had to be held to a certain standard. and we were aware that if they weren't held to that certain standard, that they could get in trouble for it, that they weren't above the law. So that was my big take from the book, is that was, it was a huge, huge thing that they did. And it was just these little reporters that nobody wanted to talk to. Like, they were so pesky to people, but they finally got what they needed to get the information. And the White House was involved. They tried to cover it up. But in the end, you know, like, when you see the unveiling and see what's really happening, you see that which we know that it's going to come out, but you see that it's going to come out, and it's like the climax basically of the novel, is that you can see the process and see that, what they're doing is actually working. So, I remember one particular part, towards the end, they were at a Christmas party. The two reporters were invited to this big shindig in Washington, and it was honoring like press writers and the press and different people from the newspapers. And after the awards center dinner, they went to this huge party, and you could see, and they could see too at the time, the people that had told them their deepest, darkest secrets about about the scandal. They had to pretend like they didn't know who they were. And so it was, they were pretending to meet these people for the first time, which they knew who they were because they had been interviewing them all for however long. I guess it went on for like 2 years or something. But, so anyways, they were at this Christmas party, and to me, that was like they were probably on cloud nine. Like, it was a huge justification. And that they finally saw that, what they were doing was actually working, because somebody, or a few people actually, had told them that that everybody was going down. So they were pretty excited. They left the Christmas party, and they were supposed to return the next morning to have breakfast with one of the main guys. And he got called in and I think he ended up getting fired that next day, because the domino effect was starting is what happened. So that is a real basic summary of what the book is about. If you if you are intrigued by different political subjects and different controversies, I feel like that you would like this book. There was another book that I had actually read that was on the list, and so I can definitely see how all of the ones that, well, not all of them, but some of the ones that were listed are kind of tied together. But it's kind of, at the time, it was a huge hot topic. Now we all know about, or for the most part, know about it and know the outcome. But at the time that it was going on, it was a huge deal for these reporters. Okay, so let me hop on over to okay. At the end of this part, only if they are true, say these words. I have read this entire book, cover to cover, every word on every page. Now, I have not read, but I did do Audible, because like I said, I cannot read because of my crazy life right now. So, I'm sorry about that. I hope it's okay. Let's see. Okay, so it says to maybe include whether the reading was hard, was a good story, what you liked, what you really didn't like. And and I'm sorry that this is going so long. Anyways, it was kind of a hard read for me because it was so much conversation and so much dialogue. When I read something, I'm used to reading like a full story and not conversations. So to me, that part was hard, but I understood all of it. But like I said, for that part, for me, it was hard. Okay, so the part about the lesson plan that I am going to build around this, the only thing that I could find for elementary school was, I think, a third grade. Let me switch over here. It was third grade. Okay. Relate principles of the American democracy to the founding of the nation. The key points are identifying reasons for the settlement of 13 colonies, recognizing basic principles of the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution of the United States, the establishment of the three branches of government, and the Emancipation Proclamation. Demonstrating the voting process, including roles of major political parties. It touches on political parties, but mainly it talks about the scandal that happened. It says utilize school and classroom rules to enforce democratic values. So you could explain to them how maybe you could hold a class election and kind of work it in that way, trying to explain how the democratic process works. And then demonstrate the voting. Oh, that's something else. It did say identify national historical figures and celebrations that exemplify fundamental democratic values, including equality, justice, responsibility, and the common good. Well, that's not necessarily the common good, or it's not celebration, but it shows you what can happen if someone feels like they are above the law. I saw some lesson plans for like 11th grade for working with this book, but I don't see how this particular one can be worked into a curriculum. Now, it can give you ideas to, know more about what you're speaking of, but I don't see how it can be worked into a curriculum. But I did enjoy the book. I hope you guys enjoyed your books. And I will talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.